What's it like to travel halfway around the world to a completely foreign land and take off on a motorbike with everything you need in your backpack and your best friend by your side? A few years ago, my friend Sean called me up and said,
"Hey Jeff.
Hey buddy, what's happening?
Let's go motorbiking in Vietnam."
Motorbiking in Vietnam?
Yeah, tại sao không?
We booked our tickets, flew halfway around the world to a country neither of us had ever been before, and set off on our first motorbiking adventure through this incredible country. Really having no idea what we were in for, we had the most unbelievable couple of weeks driving through the lower middle part of Vietnam, covering over 1,000 kilometers, and from there, we were hooked. 1 year later, we were back. This time with bigger bikes and heading north to explore both Vietnam and Laos. A journey of both incredible lows and magnificent highs. We covered over 2,700 kilometers over 4 life-changing weeks and felt the undeniable magnetic pull this country was having on us. We had to go back. So in 2019, right before the whole world shut down, we went back again for our third motorbiking adventure. And we've been sitting on this footage ever since. Until now. This time will be an ambitious journey. 6 full weeks, attempting to travel nearly 6,000 kilometers through northern Vietnam and Laos. So what is it about this part of the world that keeps pulling us back for more? We start this adventure in Hanoi, where we spend only 2 nights in the nation's capital to rest up and get ready for the journey ahead. 2 Honda XR150s from Ticket Motorbikes are the perfect rides for us and all our heavy gear on the back. And from there, the open road is calling. We start heading north, and leaving the city is a madhouse. Mostly paved, straight roads with lots of traffic and lots of trucks. The further north we get, the scenery and the traffic starts to look a little different. We spend our first 2 days riding 285 kilometers north, making our way through Lang Son and onto Cao Bang. And before long, we start to feel like we're on another planet.
Good morning. We're here in Cao Bang, and we're going to try to get to the Ban Gioc Waterfall. It is right on the border of China and Vietnam. Hoping for a great day. Let's go.
Loading up the bikes with our gear each morning will become a meticulous ritual and a carefully acquired skill. Leaving Cao Bang, we find ourselves driving through scenery so beautiful, it feels like we're in a dream. We're also quickly reminded to be very careful.
Open road, beautiful scenery, best buddy.
We're off.
This is real life in northern Vietnam.
More trucks. After driving through some of the most rugged and muddy areas we have seen thus far, we finally reach the village of Dam Thuy, home to the Ban Gioc Waterfall, which is actually a combination of 2 separate waterfalls and can be quite peaceful. But the Khe Sanh River is swollen after a long summer of rain, forming only one massive waterfall. And today, it's raging. Just a few kilometers down the road from the falls, we find a place to stay and settle into our destination for the evening at the Yen Nhi homestay.
What a day driving.
Yes, this might be some of the worst roads we've ever experienced in Vietnam.
But some of the most fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of getting used to it, and touch wood, 100 kilometers, 5 hours.
Long day.
Long day.
We made it to this place, the Yen Nhi homestay, here in Dam Thuy, I think is how you pronounce the name of the town.
Fluent in Vietnamese now.
We are right on the Chinese and Vietnamese border. We could literally throw a rock and hit China right now. Really special place.
So from China, ni hao.
And we're gonna go take a dip in the river.
I'm beginning to feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Home-cooked dinner, new friends, and a nighttime lullaby. Over the next 2 days, we work our way through this mountainous dreamland, excited to be alive and appreciative for the opportunity to be here. 161 kilometers to Bao Lac,
Where the hell are we?
and continuing north.
I feel so free. Hello.
Today I have the idea that we should get off the main road and take a side, more fun road. We'll just have to cross a little river. But on the way there, things start to fall apart.
You okay?
Yeah. These big bikes, with all of our gear on the back, are extremely heavy to lift off the ground.
Brake looks f***ed.
Hopefully it can still work.
We make it a few kilometers down the road, but at this point, the heat, hunger, and frustration are doing a pretty good job of taking my head out of the game. And when that happens... Did I mention how fucking heavy these things are?
Oh. Okay. You good? How's the leg?
I just want to get the fuck out of here and get some water.
Slow it up, yeah. You're getting a little frustrated.
A little.
Yeah, so just, I know it's hard, but just...
A few minutes down the road,
And you have food?
we were fortunate to come across a place to eat.
Oh, noodles.
A steaming hot bowl of ramen noodles.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi.
So as you can see, traveling this way, while a lot of fun, is not always easy. Sometimes you wipe out, and sometimes it sucks. But it's always nice to have a buddy with you when just the situation arises. So thanks, Sean, for picking my bike up, picking my spirits up, and the journey continues.
This road is not going to get any easier.
Look at this view. Xin chào.
Holy sh... A few minutes later, another man down.
You all right?
My turn. Just don't have a pedal now.
Sean's pedal refuses to go down.
These side roads. That's good. Fuck it. It's bent. I need a hammer. All I've got is front brakes now. Let's just find somebody.
Stop at this house and see if they have a hammer.
Yeah.
On the side of this mountain,
Xin chào. You have a... Xin chào.
we find two skilled mechanics.
Need this. Oh, this could do.
Who have just the tool we need. Now,
Okay.
it's about to get real.
That's the right way.
And we don't even know if we're going the right way.
Mine's just sliding all over the place, man. Jesus. It's because there's weight on the back.
Hang in there, we're almost there.
We gotta get across the river now.
Yep,
How do we get across the river?
thought there was a bridge.
Where?
There's no... Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
There's no bridge, it's underwater. Oh, man. Hello. Hello. Oh, on the raft.
Instead of a bridge we thought we'd find to drive across the river, what we find is a bamboo ferry.
This is why we came this route.
This is exactly why.
Yeah. We've gone from a deflated, no, there's no bridge, to, it's just a raft that take us there.
You know we're gonna have to pay this guy.
Yeah. Happily.
Yeah, you know we're gonna have to go up that hill now and to the left.
Uh-huh. We got it. 100,000. We've just come from there for this much.
We start to climb. My heart is beating out of my chest.
Stay in first. Let's stay in first all the way.
This is a lot tougher than we're used to. One mistake,
Oh no. No, 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 no.
and you could find yourself at the bottom of the mountain.
Good? Jeff? Jeff? Jesus, fuck. Jeff? Jeff? Yeah, where are you?
We finally connect on the radio.
Are you okay?
Fortunately, I didn't fall down the mountain,
You need help bring it up, huh?
but my bike is down with all the heavy gear on the side of the trail, and I can't seem to get it back up by myself.
Xin chào.
At this point,
Jeff?
it's getting really hot,
Oh,
and I'm exhausted.
what happened?
I'm trying to get the f***ing pack off so I can get up this hill. Can't get the pack off unless you lift the bike up this.
So let's get the bike up then. 1, 2.
We find ourselves lifting these things far too often today.
No more side roads from now on.
Did you get to the top?
No, I couldn't hear from you, so I've stopped halfway. There's still more to go, man. It's not easy. For our skill, this is not... it's too much for us, man.
Especially not with these f***ing packs on.
Yeah. Let's get it here.
We also find ourselves pushing them way too much.
Clutch is f***ing bent. I was doing just fine until that turn.
Not easy, man. I have no idea what's left, but we need to get off this road soon, man.
I'm concerned.
This isn't good, man.
We got this.
stop being a pussy.
Words of encouragement.
Yeah, slow the heart rate down. So slow down.
With a little more effort,
Deep breath.
we finally get it together. And we get through it.
No more detours.
Back on the main road.
Oh yeah.
Everything we've gone through today is leading to one particular place. For 22 kilometers, between the towns of Mau Vac and Dong Van, is the Pi Leng Pass. Often referred to as Happiness Road, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth I have ever seen in my life. We made it to Dong Van. Having been here once before,
There's a great pizza joint in this town.
our first stop will be the Roma Italian restaurant,
Sup, Zui?
where owners Wee and friends greet us with love, smiles, and the best pizza in Vietnam. What a great day. A quick visit this morning to the northernmost point in Vietnam, marked by the nearly 100-foot tall Lung Cu flag tower. Yeah, we made it to the top. Impressive.
About 869 steps if you were at the bottom. But we were fortunate enough to meet some people tell us to go a little further up, and saved us about 200, 300 steps.
Yeah, if you've got a motorbike, drive the halfway up here. You'll thank us later.
Back on the road.
This is quite common here in Vietnam. We are stopped for a roadblock. Opening time unknown.
The next 2 days, we continue driving through the mountainous northern part of the country along the Giang Loop, where it's becoming more difficult to keep our eyes on the road, and not a great time to take them off the road.
Another one.
160 kilometers to Ha Giang,
Xin chào.
a quick, healthy snack,
No pesticides.
and new friends.
Bye.
We then drive 142 kilometers further north, through some incredible landscapes, where we eventually come across this little town called Koc Pai, sitting quietly on the mountainside along the Chinese border, in between Ha Giang and Sapa.
Found ourselves some fresh spring rolls, some fried rice with egg, and some really cool fish to look at, not to eat.
Good morning.
It's another bike day. We are headed to Sapa.
Over 4 hours today, we cover 135 kilometers through some incredibly beautiful, remote areas,
Another roadblock.
with a stop for a proper lunch.
Now that's a bowl of pho.
In the far northwest of Vietnam, quietly sitting along the highest mountain range in the entire Indo-Chinese peninsula, is the town of Sapa. After finding a place to stay, we have one very important thing on our minds.
You choose your skewers. All kinds of delicious kebabs. They fry it right over there.
Commonly used after a big meal to help with digestion, thuoc lao is a form of Nicotiana rustica, strong tobacco. It's an old Vietnamese custom to smoke it out of a bamboo pipe.
This one's for you.
It has a very high concentration of nicotine. Oftentimes, locals will get a kick out of giving thuoc lao to foreigners to try, who aren't quite prepared for the overwhelming high it can provide for first-timers.
You okay?
Are you okay?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
But this is not my first rodeo.
Today's another bike day. We're back on the bikes and headed to Muang Lay. Let's go.
Our plan for today is a nice, easy 4-hour drive to the next town, which starts off great, but nearly halfway,
No clutch.
Sean's bike breaks down.
I think it's an easy fix.
Should be.
Yeah.
Probably just going to take the longest going in and back.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, man.
So I backtrack into town, find a local mechanic to help us out, and about an hour later,
Got his bike back in the shop. Fingers crossed.
a great opportunity to practice some patience.
Good news. Sean's bike is fixed. Set us back a few hours, but such is life. Ready to hit the road. Let's go.
We push on through the mountains until just after sunset and come across this little town by the river called Phong Do. Right next to the road, we find a place to stay for the night. And of course, have to find something to eat. And oftentimes, we have no idea what's going to be on the menu. Morning traffic jam. The next 2 days, we work our way south through quaint roadside villages filled with all kinds of surprise greetings from just about everyone. Full days of driving through incredible scenery, soaking in every moment with big smiles on our faces.
Which way are you going? The balls?
Our gratitude growing ever more by the minute. Around every corner, another reminder of why there's so much to love about this country. 217 kilometers through another incredible range of mountains will bring us closer to reaching the Vietnam and Laos border. Tonight we'll spend here in Phong Lai and get ready for another big day tomorrow. Back into heavier traffic, we have a long day on the bikes, with a big push of driving the entire day, stopping to greet some new friends along the way. Today we cover 322 kilometers that we will certainly never forget. But tonight, we'll spend our last night in Vietnam, for now, and get ready to cross into Laos in the morning.
We are about 50K away from the Laos border today.
About an hour drive this morning to the Nam Meo border crossing.
Here at the Laos border, after about an hour wait, they are finally allowing us in. Let's go to Laos.
Officially, the Lao People's Democratic Republic. The only landlocked country in Southeast Asia, Laos has some of the most beautiful landscapes, rice fields, and smiling, happy people. 60% of the people practice Buddhism, making it one of the most peaceful nations in the world. Today we drive 236 kilometers into the heart of Laos, maneuvering through steep, mountainous terrain, and end up in this little village called Sap Lao. Thankful to be here.
We just had one hell of a day on the road. Awesome day. Incredible drive. Lots of hours on the bikes. We're exhausted. We're going to dig into a bowl of food and call it a night.
Yeah, it's called a pho too. So it's going to be fucking good.
This morning, we wave hello and goodbye to everyone as we work our way down from the mountains. Coming into the valley,
The mother lode.
we stop for lunch at this roadside market. We're usually up to try all kinds of interesting looking unknowns.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But that one, no.
Let's dig in. Check that out.
We continue west through the hot afternoon sun, taking in the magnificent views and sharing the road with rush hour traffic. It takes us nearly all day to cover the 181 kilometers that brings us to this little lakeside village called Muang Soi. We find a little guest house next to the lake, and our hearts are filled with gratitude from another incredible day. This morning, we can't contain our excitement to get back on the bikes and do a little dance to the bike gods for a safe day on the road. Our goal today is to ride nearly 200 kilometers and reach the city of Vang Vieng. Deep in the heart of Laos, it's a spot we're excited to visit. But first, we spot this mountain goat next to the road,
Oh, I'm trying to save that thing.
who looks like he's having a very bad day
Oh, we're going to stop it. Come here.
and could use a helping hand.
Yeah. There you go, buddy. Now he's just taking a poop. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Another full day of driving through picturesque mountainscapes, and we reach the enchanting town of Vang Vieng, where we find a place to stay at the Riverside Boutique Resort. Grateful to be here. Just outside of Vang Vieng is a 50-kilometer looping road, where we first check out one of 3 local blue lagoons. Working our way a little further out, we come across this mountain we can climb all the way to the top to the Nam Se viewpoint. And the view is awesome. Further down the road, a great spot for lunch.
Somebody.
We worked up a massive appetite climbing that mountain, and we're in luck. We are here about to dig into an authentic bowl of pho.
Yum yum.
The icing on our time here in Vang Vieng, a riverboat ride off into the sunset. Reflecting on our journey thus far, I'm feeling grateful, humble, inspired, and excited for what lies ahead. The next 2 days, we work our way over 465 kilometers south, through the capital of Vientiane, and spend a night in this town called Tha Kek, where we get a little checkup on our bikes from a local mechanic.
Current state of my bike
and it's a good thing we do.
Getting some TLC today.
Now, I'm no mechanic, but I do know that those are ball bearings, and they don't look good. Much better. Our bikes touched up, we grab a quick pick-me-up for the road from these fine local businessmen.
10.
Thank you, Red Bull.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
Continuing south another 334 kilometers, or 6 hours later, we end up in a town called Pak Se, in a region steeped in history, culture, and waterfalls. It's part of the Bolaven Plateau.
Stopped at Mr. Vang's Coffee.
Which has a lot of coffee plantations. Delicious. The Bolaven Plateau has an abundance of waterfalls, and on our way to check out one of them, we come across this friendly man.
Somebody? Oh yeah, for the fish.
Who is out fishing today.
Somebody?
And showing this young up-and-comer the ropes. Who has probably never seen a flying camera before. While Laos may be a landlocked country, what it lacks in beaches or oceans, it makes up for in waterfalls.
That is the Tad Hang waterfall.
We check out several of them. Tad Low,
Tad Fane waterfall.
San Juan waterfall. Really impressive.
Tad Feck, Laos is such a beautiful, peaceful country. Our time here has filled my soul, reminding me of the importance of simplicity and happiness. After covering the Bolaven Plateau, another 200 kilometers on the bikes today will bring us to Salavan. Grateful to be here and for another amazing day. We will spend our last night in Laos before crossing back into Vietnam in the morning.
All right, it's our last day here in Laos. We are headed back to Vietnam today. Let's go.
We start today with 142 kilometers to reach the La Le border crossing, where we've successfully transitioned from the Laos border. And after a quick passport and visa check,
Xin chào.
They're allowing us back into Vietnam. Let's go.
crossing back into Vietnam, we push on for a few hours, working our way south along part of the Ho Chi Minh Trail, then turning east towards the coast. A big day driving over 260 kilometers to reach the city of Hue, where we'd love to stay longer, but after a quick overnight,
Let's head to Hoi An.
between Hue and Da Nang on Highway 1 is a stretch of road called the Hai Van Pass. 21 kilometers of climbing and twisting through the mountains, overlooking a breathtaking coastline. Pressing on through Da Nang, 42 kilometers later, we're welcomed with the ocean breeze in the tranquil coastal town of Hoi An, where we're lucky to find a place to stay on the beach at the Tan Than Garden Homestay. It is said that mountains are for energy and the ocean for healing. After a month of trading energies with the mountains,
Paddleboarding off the coast of Hoi An
we could use a little healing.
doesn't suck.
We spend a few nights here in the City of Lanterns, just enough time to relax, reflect, and recharge. And thanks to the guys at 1984, get some fresh ink to take with us.
We've had the most incredible, relaxing stay here in Hoi An. Today, jump back on the motorbikes. It's back to the mountains. Let's go.
Today we cut through Da Nang to the north and turn inland as we head west. Thankful to be back on the bikes again. It feels great to be back in the mountains. Without a destination in mind, it takes several hours to traverse 111 kilometers through this mysterious wonderland to finally reach a little town called Prao, way after dark.
Khe Sanh is our destination today.
Can we go by? Okay, you guys are just hanging out?
Today we drive north, through more mountainous terrain, stopping for a quick snack.
Xin chào. You have anything to eat? Food? Yeah. You have a big dollop on the side of you.
I'm saving it for later.
With the cookie?
And meet some more new friends. Feeling free and overwhelmingly thankful to be here. It takes all day to drive 209 kilometers to reach Khe Sanh. Once again, way after dark. Just a short drive west of Khe Sanh is the old site of a U.S. Marine outpost from the war.
We are at the Khe Sanh combat base, which was considered one of the deadliest, bloodiest battles of the Vietnam War.
It feels eerily peaceful here now, but it's hard to forget that only a half century ago, hundreds of Americans and thousands of Vietnamese lost their lives here under the most horrific circumstances.
It's a very sobering experience being here. I can't even imagine being here on the battlefield.
Leaving Khe Sanh, we have an overwhelming sense of both humility and gratitude, reflecting on the contrast between what happened here 2 generations ago, ending or changing so many people's lives forever, and how fortunate we are to be here today under completely different circumstances. Our lives also forever changed. A big day driving 230 kilometers north along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, working our way through this unbelievable mountainous terrain. Without a destination in mind, and it's starting to get really dark,
Hi, Saigon.
we are lucky and relieved to come across this awesome place to stay for the night.
Last night we were fortunate enough to stumble across this gem in the darkness, the Phong Nha Eco Mountain Farm Stay. What a beautiful place. Let's go check out some caves.
Inside of the Phong Nha National Park is the Phong Nha Cave, and the only way to get there is to take a riverboat.
We are on a boat.
A UNESCO World Heritage Site, this park's massive river system leads underground to over 300 caves. The Phong Nha Cave is nearly 5 miles long, with incredible limestone rock formations that have names like Lion, Unicorn, Kneeling Elephant, and the Buddha, with whom we have a spiritual moment of reflection. We are immensely grateful that we're exactly where we're supposed to be, and for everyone and everything sacrificed that allows us to be here today. What's it like to travel halfway around the world to a completely foreign land and take off on a motorbike?
No, you see?
With everything you need in your backpack
Are you kidding me? You guys just hanging out? What's happening?
and your best friend by your side. It's life-changing. It gets into your soul. It makes you feel alive and free. It changes the way you think about this planet we're all living on and the people on it. It challenges you to the core, makes you realize that material possessions don't matter, and to appreciate the small things. Over 3 days, we navigate another 500 kilometers north and make it back into Hanoi safely on our final day, surviving the last 6 weeks and over 6,000 kilometers. We're filled with memories and lessons about life to take with us forever. And for now, we can seal this chapter in our journey and get ready for our next one.